Rambam, we're doing the laws of slaughtering. We are chapter 3, Shchita, means slaughter. There are 5 factors that disqualify ritual slaughter, and the fundamentals of the laws of Shchita are to guard against each of these factors. They are Shia, Chalada, Drasha, Hagrama, and Ikur. What is meant by Shia? A person began to slaughter and lifted up his hand before he completed the slaughter and waited. Shia means to wait. You waited, so you started, but you didn't complete it. Whether he did so inadvertently and intentionally or because of forces beyond his control doesn't matter. The following rules apply. If he or the other person completed the slaughter, if he or another person completes so, if he waited the amount of time that it would take to lift up the animal, cause it to lie down and slaughter it, his slaughter is not acceptable. If you wait less than that amount of time, the slaughter is acceptable. So that amount of time, right, is not considered a complete interruption of the process of slaughtering, right? Now, of course, we're learning the parameters of the law over here as opposed to, right? We're learning the parameters of the law as opposed to, the way it should be done. The way it should be done is, of course, in one full swoop. But if it's not done that way, so this is what you need to do. Then this is the parameter of the law, as in everything that we learn, right? Okay, with regard to the small domesticated animal, like a sheep, the measure of Shia is the time it would take to lift up the animal, cause it to lie down, and slaughter it. With regard to the large domesticated animal, the measure would be the amount of time that it would take to lift up the animal and cause it to lie down and slaughter it, which is a different amount of time. Uh, so each animal according to its category. Yeah, a large animal needs more time than a smaller animal, so then you adjust according to that time. With regard to a fowl, the measure of Shia, the amount of time that it would take to lift up the small animal, right, the chicken, cause it to lie down and slaughter it. Should be a very small amount of time. Okay, when a person cut the signs for a while, waiting for a while, cut for a while, waited for a while until he concluded the slaughter without waiting the measure that disqualifies an animal at any one time. But over the times he waited over the entire period would equal the measure of Shia. There's some resolved doubt whether the animal is considered a nevela meaning not kosher because it wasn't slaughtered properly, right? Because the amount of time would add up, but waited, did, waited, right? Similarly, if he waited the amount of time it takes to lift up the animal and cause it to lie down and cut only a portion of the sides, but not slaughter it entirely, there is an unresolved doubt whether the animal is considered an avail. Okay. If you saw the majority of one of the signs for a fowl, the majority of both signs for an animal, the slaughter is permitted, even though he waited half the day and then returned and finished cutting the sides. For since the minimum measure of the slaughter was met, is as if he cutting the slaughtered meat. So the halacha is that there's the food pipe and the esophagus, right? Those are the two things that need to be cut. But what if so the law is for the fowl, if you cut um, the majority of one, it's kosher. I mean, the preferred way is, of course, to cut both, right? But we're talking about what's the minimum. So the majority of one, it's kosher. The for a an animal, you need both to be a majority of the two together, right? So what if you did that? And now you then waited half a day and you finish it off, right? So that's obviously more than the amount of time, right? That would be given. So he says that's like slaughtering cut meat because it's already considered slaughtered by law, even though it wasn't done fully, right? It's still, it's still considered as if you slaughtered meat, and therefore it's permissible. Again, no one's doing this, but these are giving us the parameters of the law. Number 6. If one cut half or less of the windpipe and waits for the extended period, he may return and complete the slaughter. His previous acts are of no consequence. Okay, that's not called slaughter. I don't get that exactly. So not considered treif. That's interesting. If, however, you cut the majority of the animal's windpipe or the perforated the gullet, even slightly, and then waited, disqualifying measure, the slaughter is unacceptable. Because you can't return to correct the slaughter of the animals that's already considered to be nevela. And others, less than half is like you did nothing. I don't know how the animal survived, though. Because the animal didn't survive, then it would be cutting a dead animal. I'm not clear on that, right? But it sounds like he survived, then you cut it again. Uh, but if you did the majority, then that's like you did it. And then you waited, then that's unacceptable. Waited too long. This applies whether he returned to cutting completed cutting, where he began or slaughtering the animal entirely in a different place. The rationale is that when the majority of the windpipe is slit or the gullet of either an animal or a fowl is perforated even slightly, the animal is comparable to a nevela. In other words, it's not kosher, right? On proper slaughter, and the ritual slaughter is not effective for it, as will be explained. Okay, folks, big day. Still to finish. We're almost at 70%. Thank you, both of you, for your help. And for everyone else, thank you. We will return. Have a great day. Thank you. God bless everybody.